Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. Let me see if I can get my whole beard in there. Yeah, look at that. Too long for the camera. We're doing a snow update. So our final totals, depending on which part of the landscape you measure, looks like 6 to 8 inches. I measured 9 in one spot, but maybe there was some drifting or something. I measured, like, there was a dock and it had boards, and early in the snow process you could see how the snow was falling through the boards. You could still see the gaps, and there was like 2 inches of snow up there. And now, that spot is measuring like 5, and then you go and you go to like the top of a truck box or something and you're getting 7. So whatever, 6 to 8 inches of snow looks like it's about right. It's not going to melt right away because the temperature is 27 degrees and it's not supposed to get above freezing for at least another 32 hours. 32 hours. And even then, it's just going to barely go pop. So we're looking at Saturday, maybe Sunday, before we get temperatures locally, if we are being local to where I'm currently at. To where temperatures are going to start melting some of the snow off. Now, most of the snow is off of the boat. That's proper. Deal with it properly. Using a deck brush. You don't have to have anything super complicated. A deck brush that you use to scrub your boat works just fine. A little bit of a broom action, because we do have a broom. We have a hand broom, so that getting rid of it. It's not going to do the freeze-thaw cycle outside, but it will because of the interior temperature of the boat. And you really don't want this stuff up against your port lights, your windows, and stuff like that. Hatches, or your stanchions, lifeline stanchions, anywhere where you've got stuff going through the hull, no matter how well sealed it is, you don't want to have your freeze-thaw cycle there, because that's a really badness thing. Freeze thaw, water will get in. It'll start spreading, making cracks. It'll get in. So we've done a good job of keeping the snow away from there, mostly. I would say 80% of the snow is off the boat right now. And we're doing pretty good. It'll be 100% by the end of the day. The tarp over the dinghy is going to be the hardest part, because it's a rigid dinghy, because it has a fiberglass hull. It's an actual rib. You've got that. It doesn't get all the way flat. Like, you can't just flatten it and roll it up. Would be nice, but it's nice to have that rigid hull. It's just so much more. Yeah, there's a lot of advantages to it. The only disadvantage is carrying it. That's the only disadvantage there is to it. And yeah, projects for next summer. I might look at some other alternate dinghy projects. Not that I want to get rid of this one at all, but I want to look at some projects that I could show people that might be really good options for roll-ups, more inexpensive roll-ups for people. Specific stuff. We'll get to that. I have to do some electrical work before I do that, and that's about it. That's what we're looking at. So lots of snow. You've got intermittent power issues on shore. There's tons of stuff going on. Lots of businesses are closed. It's funny because, like, I was talking to a friend, and Marina actually decided to post a sign the day before the storm at 3 p.m. Like, I guess that's like 2 hours before they close, 3 hours before they close, saying that they weren't going to come in for the next 2 days, and then locked up all the snow shovels. So the people at the marina are dealing with like 6 to 8 inches of snow, I guess, 5 inches of snow. Like, apparently the breadth of this was actually bigger than expected. So people up in the bay got a lot of snow, not just like North Carolina and then Norfolk, Elizabeth River, James River, York River, Poquoson area. Like, a lot of the snow was a little bit broader. So they locked up the snow shovels. So people are like, well, what do we do now? because you gotta, if you're on a dock, you've got to go up and down the dock, and there's no one's going to show up to work, so there's not going to be any cleaning. I don't know what they're going to do with the parking lot. Like, no one's going to work. We're just not going to. Yep, doesn't exist. That's a little crazy. Gotta tell you, that's a little crazy. So that's about it. Other notes. So I'm going to do another Way of the Peaceful Warrior video. I've got. I think I want to integrate more of that stuff into these, but I don't know exactly which way to do it. Where the boundaries are, because. What do you do? Who knows? Like, I've got 7 different formats of stuff. I've got Twitter posting, X posting, and I've got the Substack, where I've got 4 different actual things. Like, I've got 3 different feeds. There's Nomad Wednesdays, which I'm very irregular with. And it's about nomadism, living in a van, living in a boat, living in a tent, like nomad topics. Sometimes it gets into legal, philosophy, rights of man kind of stuff. And then there's Floating Fridays, which is very boat specific, and I try to talk about things about, or write. This isn't, it's audio and text mixed. So I talk about things like what it's like to, what do you need? What do you do? What is floating? What is floating? What is it to be floating on your boat? Like, really chilling out. It's Friday afternoon. You did 2 hours of boat work, and now you're having cocktails in your cockpit. That's like the floating lifestyle idea. And, a lot of people don't live aboard or cruise or sail aboard or are not transient. They just get a boat and they use it for part of the year, sometimes 4 months, sometimes 12 months. If you live in San Diego, why not? And they use it kind of as a weekend condo or something. It's still perfectly valid. You're floating on the water, chilling out. There's a lot of lifestyle stuff, and a lot of things to look at there. A lot of things that can make it better. Expectations about the boat, maintaining the boat, what your work schedule should really look like. Feeling good about doing 2 hours of work on your boat is fine. That's fantastic. You're not there because you need to spend 12 hours a day, 2 days every weekend, forever. You're there to have fun. So I talk about that a lot. There's also Baseline Human, where I talk about health and diet and weird stuff. So in a note on that, last night I came off of a 72-hour fast and had grilled some steak in the snow. Grilled a 8-ounce chuck steak in the snow, and had some feta cheese. Very high fat, very moderate protein. Feels great. Nothing wrong. Like, that's it, So, and on that note, I don't know how far I'm going to take that this time. That was my meal. If I follow a schedule, I might eat today. I might not. We'll talk about that later. That's probably all going to go into the Baseline Human. I'm going to start talking about that. I'm also going to do some stuff about mold and mold toxicity, and we're going to just have a talk. I'm going to do like a one-person podcast. It's going to be a fairly long one because there's a lot to cover. That's about it. We got snow, an insane amount of snow, and it's going to stick around for a week, and it's like, this is like Anvil, Hershey, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg. This is like central Pennsylvania kind of snow. It's not North Carolina coast kind of snow. Like, snow on the ground, on the beach at Hatteras is not normal, right? So, very exceptional. There looks like there's supposed to be one more storm coming through for the end of the month, literally 27th, 28th, literally end of the month. We don't know yet if it's going north or south or fizzling out or gonna ride up the Appalachians, so we don't know what's really happening with that one yet. My expectation is it's going to aim straight for my head, because weather storms like to do that, and it's just going to be unseasonal, because everything this winter has been unseasonal or strange. So I'm expecting that. I want to say that after that, we're probably going to have a pretty relaxed March. The long-term stuff shows above average temperatures, which means above average means like 48 instead of 45 or 54 instead of 52. Not like it's going to be 60 degrees everywhere. So there's going to be some of that. Above average temperatures, below average precipitation, which we will see. I have a feeling that below average precipitation means that we're going to have a couple of storms instead of a steady pattern of spring type showers. So spring technically starts towards the end of March, like the 20th or the 21st. So, that early spring with the hedgehog or the groundhog or whatever, that's probably not happening. We're already not early spring as with the storm next week. So if you're on the mid-Atlantic or ICW coast and you're north of Florida, don't have too much hope for super warm weather yet. If you're in a spot where you're comfortable and you're happy, you're Anchorage, you're docked for a month or something, wait out March. That's my prediction is going to be to wait out March. You may have a short season for wherever you're going because hurricanes, but wait out March. That's my recommendation. That's it. So I'm back to cleaning snow off of a boat and not eating food. Stay sideways.